Up, you guys? Shiz back for another one of these quick, casual type of builds into this week's new 7-star Terror Raid. So, finally, I was correct. It is EMBOAR's time to shine. Interestingly enough, as a electric type, this is our first electric Terra type of these 7-star raids. Propcat had actually sent me a list earlier of like every single one that someone had made. We still haven't seen a dark type yet, and I'm gonna give my predictions on some of those after, once I kind of remember who we're missing. But with, of course, it being, you know, a 7-star Terror raid, we are gonna be looking at the hidden ability, which is Reckless. Power of moves that have recoil damage is increased by 20%. So, obviously in Terror raids, even when they use recoil damage attacks, it's not really significant. It might like help like edge through a certain, you know, segment, depending. Like, let's say like you get it down close enough just to break the shield, but not quite enough, and then they end up doing that. Like, you know, it helps with that, but it's not really something that you should probably really count into your strategy. But with that ability, my assumption is that the electric move is going to be Wild Charge. There are two electric type attacks that do recoil damage. I forget the name of the other one. But I'm pretty sure it was just added into Scarlet and Violet, but it's like 120 damage move. Both physical, and EMBOAR is very much a physical attacker. Very poor on defense though, both like, you know, special and physical. So yeah, that's pretty much what's strengthening the thought of that being the move that EMBOAR will have. But eliminating that, trying to think of like, I don't know, 5 other moves, because it seems like 6 is the total we've been getting for the most part. Maybe a 7th. I guess Flame Charge, what? Yeah, I think Flame Charge is more of a guarantee in terms of the no, sorry. Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz sounds more better in terms of the fire attack. What I meant by like in between the two of Heat Crash or Flame Charge, it would probably be Flame Charge, just because like the weight isn't guaranteed, even though EMBOAR is pretty big. But yeah, I think probably Flare Blitz. That's a significant chunk of damage right there. Maybe Head Smash. See, like you have a lot of attacks that do recoil damage for EMBOAR, but I don't think if EMBOAR were to use Head Smash, it would be more in like the last resort kind of situation. Like, I don't think that would be the consistent rock attack. Rollout could be interesting. Smog would definitely be interesting, but I don't think it would use Smog. Let's see. In terms of other stuff, I mean, I assume there will be a few fighting moves that we're not seeing as. That's so weird. I didn't realize EMBOAR doesn't naturally learn fighting moves. Okay, well, Arm Thrust. Never mind. I'm sorry, I was wrong there. But we'll probably get something better than Arm Thrust. Brick Break would be great. I don't think we'll see Drain Punch. Body Press could be another one. I don't think we'll see a Will-O-Wisp, but I do have a few other ideas based on like where we see things go. Oh yeah, you see Wild Charge right there. Okay, I didn't even realize Wild Charge was a natural move. So yeah, well, not a natural move that EMBOAR can learn, but obviously a TM move. So, is that other one here? No. Okay. I think it would be very interesting though if we saw Scald. There's 2 ways you could kind of go about that, but still would be very interesting as a counter to, obviously you're gonna want to run ground types, so it could make things interesting, or it could just make things insanely boring and just do the exact same thing that we've been doing this whole time with another Gastrodon ground type with Storm Drain. Now again, I think you go Gastrodon and Clodsire if Scald is on the menu. I don't think you run it if it's not. I mean, unless like if you're playing in like a like in a team setting, you could probably like rerun these with some adjustments here. Like maybe you run Sandforce instead of Storm Drain, just for the sake of having some kind of difference with your abilities and things like that, like to actually utilize your ability. Yeah, and then you would activate Sandstorm as Gastrodon. Like, it wouldn't really help EMBOAR unless it's using those rock attacks and stuff like that, so. Yeah, so yeah, same with Clodsire, only in a Scald situation. I don't think we see a Scald situation, though. It seems kind of like it would kind of be a risk for Clodsire, because EMBOAR does have the possibility to have ground attacks. I think if it were to use a ground attack, it would probably be Horsepower. So, probably out of those two options, if Scald is on the table, Clodsire is out. You probably just want to go Gastrodon. I was also looking at, I guess, more of the people with the Water Absorb ability. I mean, it's like really rare that, you might want to run that. I think, I'm looking at Seismitoad for the first time. I wasn't really taking a good look at Seismitoad, but just kind of looking at ground types. Let's see. Yeah, so so like even you could look at Seismitoad, for example, with it being water ground, and like it's not going to be affected by electric attacks. So if Scald was there, you could go Water Absorb. You could also run like a Rain Dance thing to nullify, like decrease the power of the any of EMBOAR's fire attacks. And now you're really just getting hit with what I assume is going to be a fighting or a ground type. So might be a little bit of a problem. Obviously not effective-wise for Seismitoad, but still. Defensively, a little bit better than EMBOAR, but yeah, you kind of do the whole accuracy loophole and just mud slap EMBOAR's accuracy away. And maybe just hit with Earthquake with a ground Terra. But again, we're still working through the assumption that Scald is there. If Scald is not there, I think you do something like Ursaluna with Guts. Well, like I was saying earlier, I don't think EMBOAR would just have Will-O-Wisp, but with it having fire attacks, it's possible that it'll end up using a move that will cause burns. So Flamethrower would be cool, just to help us with that. But Flare Blitz, which again is still my assumption, does also give us a burn. So I think if we play into that aspect of it, of course we're already avoiding, the Wild Charge. We're avoiding the Wild Charge, but fighting might become an issue. So it's a little tricky there, depending on how strong our Ursaluna is defensively. I think, definitely though, you would go, maybe you would go Blood Moon. Yeah, maybe you would go Blood Moon just for the sake of the higher defense. I actually didn't realize Blood Moon had such significant defense over regular Ursaluna. Like, I knew it was more of a special attacker versus attacker, but wow. Okay, so maybe go Blood Moon. Because again, with EMBOAR, you could go special or physical in terms of what you're attacking with. I think defensively, you just want to be someone with a heavy defense. But jumping off of the thought of utilizing Guts and it being a fire Pokemon, I was looking at what we have on the table as options. I think, first of all, in terms of a supporter role, you could bring a Flareon with Guts. You have a lot of options here in terms of doing setups for your teammates. And of course, Mud Slap you know. I believe, what other? Scorching Sand. Okay, yeah, and then like you could even use Scorching Sand. So as a supporter Flareon, right? Do your Mud Slaps, get the accuracy down. If unless like you also have another teammate doing it, that could help as well. And then as an attack, Scorching Sands all the way. With Ground type Terra, I believe. Yeah, and you even have Helping Hand, so you can do that to make your attacker way stronger. Like whoever in your party is going to be the attacker. Or even Baton Pass, right? Like just build up your own personal stats. It even comes with Rain Dance. I did not know that. So yeah, Flareon can do Rain Dance because you're not going to be using fire attacks anyway, so it's not like that's going to be your strong suit. I think so. You could do a lot of supportive setups and debuff setups with your Flareon. Could be cool. I might, if I'm running with a team, I might bring out a Flareon with that build. But yeah, looking at the other guts, let's see. Yeah, so like quick looking at Hariyama, for example, quite a few good ground type setups. Again, always gonna say, hey, let's start with Mud Slap just to like ease the pressure on yourself from the attacks you're gonna be getting hit with. But you do have Stomping Tantrum, you do have, you know, Bulldoze, you do have Earthquake, very high attack, very high HP as well. Not so great defensively, but a lot of workarounds. But now another last minute quick thought one. My boy, my favorite line, Rhyperior. I love Rhydon, Rhyhorn. Rhyperior, okay. I like Rhyperior. But anyway, another ability that I just remembered while looking up electric items. Like I was just looking up held items in general. Like things like Cell Battery, which increases your attack if you get hit with an electric move. I don't think it's worth it. I still think you run Shell Bell. Just because with that, that's like a one-time use. And it would like, you know, one-time use in battle. So it's not like every time you get hit with an electric attack, you would see an increase. But yeah, I think there's potential with Rhyperior with Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod is an electric, the ability where if you get hit with an electric type move, it will do no damage and your special attack goes up by one stage. So how frequently EMBOAR is gonna want to use electric type attacks? Probably not that much, but you know, I think, yeah, it probably won't want to just because you're already not affected by it like that. And fighting could become a problem for you. So I don't know. I don't think, you know, the CPU is silly enough to do Lightning Rod too many times. I mean, sorry, Wild Charge too many times on an opponent that it knows won't take any damage from it. But of course, you know, you have so many setups with this if that were the case. I'm not even going to say Mud Slap. You should already know Mud Slap. But if it's going to be increasing your your special attack, you're probably going to want to go with Earth Power again. Instead of a physical attack. Let's see, what else? Oh, you could also go with Scorching Sand. Yeah, you could go with Scorching Sand as well. Just to do that burn, to decrease, you know, to cut EMBOAR's physical attacks in half. Are there any other, like, you see, a lot of the Lightning Rod Pokemon are just pretty straightforward, like, they're just electric, so yeah, I mean, unfortunately with Lightning Rod, a lot of the Pokemon that can have it are either not in this game or don't really have a offensive capacity to this. Like, a lot of these electric Pokemon are not going to have ground type attacks. I actually looked at Seaking for a little bit and I was like, oh, you know, you could kind of run a supporter, and then I realized, wait, Seaking is not even in this game. So that was a waste of time. But yeah, I don't know. I think, I still think, you know, I definitely feel good about as a supporter. Hariyama has some potential there. I do think these, you know, the Gastrodon and Seismitoad would be very interesting if there is Scald. I think that's your safety net right there. And what else? Who else was I gonna say? Yeah, like, and then like, you know, with Ursaluna, even though yes, you do have the risk of fighting types once you terrestrialize the ground, that won't be a problem. Also, jumping back on me saying Blood Moon Ursaluna might be better. The whole point of running Ursaluna is for guts, and obviously, you know, Blood Moon only has Mind's Eye, so I don't think, even though yes, it's stronger defensively, I think Ursaluna is still like pretty tanky. So you just want to get your Terra as quick as possible. Who knows if it, you know, EMBOAR is gonna steal Terra early, just like, oh my god, what was the last one? Swampert, just like Swampert did. So yeah, with your Mud Slaps, it'll probably save you in that instance. But yeah, in terms of like the other Terra types that we're missing, it's pretty much just Dark Terra type that we're missing. I do think it's a block that it'll be Feraligatr. Though I don't know, it could be interesting if we get Feraligatr as a Dragon Terra type, but maybe that's what they'll end up doing with Sceptile, just to like kind of mimic it being its typing for its Mega Evolution. So I'm still pretty confident Feraligatr will be the Dark Terra type. Could be interesting if Infernape is also Dark Terra type, just to mix up the fire typings across the board. But yeah, we're still missing Survivor, Survivor, Incineroar, and Torterra as well from that list. So who knows? I'm not ready to be like, oh, this person's going to be this type and stuff like that, but I do kind of feel confident with Feraligatr being our Dark Terra. Does that necessarily mean Feraligatr is going to be the next one? Probably not. But we'll see. We still have, like, what? We have 3 grass types, 1 water type, and 2 fire types left. So we'll probably see a grass type again next. Here's hoping it's Sceptile. But yeah, anyway, this was a mess of a casual look at counter builds for our boy EMBOAR. But I'm glad it's a electric type. That's very interesting, you know. At least mixes it up. Kind of helps, you know, break up the firefighting line as much as we can. So but if you watch this video, let me know what you're thinking of running with. Let me know if some of my ideas are stupid. They probably are. Again, super casual look. I don't know every ability off the top of my head. I don't know every held item at the top of my head. So there's probably things obviously better than Shell Bell that can help out in this situation. Like, I'm not a VGC person, so I'm not super familiar with any tips and tricks that you can get off immediately. But I do feel kind of pretty good about some of these choices. I just feel really good about Flareon in a supporter sense. Just because I think this week I'm going to be able to not have to solo it like I had to last week just because of, 2 weeks ago. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you did like this video, hit that like button. If you loved it, hit that subscribe button. If you just can't get enough, come over to twitch.tv/PrestonD where we should be live. We'll definitely be live for this on Thursday when it drops. So come on over. See if I was right, see if I was wrong. But until then, peace.